Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. What the fuck is wrong with us? Again, I am stunned at the level our humanity is sunk to. And I was raised by Ken Titus. I was a kid, but I remember being taught in school that racism was wrong and that we were all the same. I remember people losing their lives just for protesting a war, but they were willing to do the right thing for the good of all of us. And that's over now. You feel it? Martin Luther King said the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. But honestly, those are just words of a great man who was a great speaker and who got assassinated. Frankly, our actions in this current Armageddon timeline prove King's sentiment dead wrong. Minorities are losing their right to vote because of a craven group of old, broken down, crinkled, pus-filled white men who believe that a dude that said he wanted to date his daughter,
if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
And let 500,000 Americans die due to inaction during a global pandemic.
We have it totally under control.
We think we have it very well under control.
We pretty much shut it down.
A lot of people think that goes away in April.
We're in very good shape.
I think it's going to work out fine.
Very well under control in our country.
I think that's a problem that's going to go away.
Because of all we've done, the risk to the American people remains very low.
They want that guy to be our next president. Again! The moral universe bends towards justice? Fucking bullshit. We're watching innocent civilians killed on television and we shake our heads sadly, then pick up our iPhone and watch puppy videos or some dance crew slay while Ukrainians are slayed. What happened to us? The fuck is wrong with us? It's not recent. Hell, we all watched a comedian divorce his wife and then marry his adopted 34-year-old younger daughter, and that fucker kept getting invited to the Oscars while Roman Polanski's got to stay in France. Snowden let us know the government was tracking us randomly all the time, and they made him leave the country. He should have been given a medal. What has happened to us? I find it hard to believe that one bright orange pillow-fisted daddy's boys did all of this. When did we just accept the fucking horror and horrific evil behavior? Is fine. No big deal. I mean, I'm sure it was the same 500 years ago, or hell, 200 years ago. But what has fueled a rise in fascist and racist behavior? We know it doesn't work. And how do I get put into another timeline where people get justice for their crimes? Because a lot of people are defending the heinous and the wrong. We have entertainers grooming high school girls, and instead of getting arrested, they fade into the woodwork until enough time heals over the diseased tumor that they are. Dudes who scared the hell out of women in a locked room, and when those women complained, they had their careers ended. If Jared from Subway was a stand-up comic, he'd be selling out theaters and taking home Grammys. There are dead bodies executed, just lying in the streets of Ukraine while we debate getting involved. And we know how this goes. If you know history at all, there is a number of dead humans that we will eventually get to, and then we'll decide that we finally can bring down the weight of the U.S. military on this dirtbag. We watch a man we saw on television try to take down the fucking government, and he continues to golf by the flaccid January 6th committee blah blahs. And this dude, either he's the stealthiest investigator since Monk, or he's letting a group of people who attempted the biggest coup since the Civil War, okay, the second biggest. He's letting him get off scot-free. What are we doing? The fuck are we doing? Where is our morality, our sense of right? Why are we being dicks all the time, me included? And sorry, flight attendants should be able to stand their ground and open carry Glock 9s. You know, this current ooze of evil doesn't stop unless you call it out. We can't get back to any semblance of normal unless we stomp on the hypocrisy and bullshit, the gaslighting and the fascism. The darkness and evil won't go away. But can we at least drive it back into its holes? The arc of the universe pulls towards justice? Fuck. But the only way to make it arc towards justice is with speaking against evil and maybe using a baseball bat. Metaphorically, of course. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Sorry for fucking swearing. Fuck, sorry. Fuck, sorry. But fuck, seriously? Fuck. Fuck! Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. We're starting kind of loose and goofy tonight. I'm in a down place. I have nothing to be excited about. If anything, I feel like my life has been sucked out of me. But to start out on that level, with me as always, the lovely bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
Yeah, really. Is anybody else having allergy problems?
No, and we just found out Valley Fever. So the San Fernando Valley has a thing called Valley Fever. So besides the everything having no winter this year, we had like 1 week of rain. Thing? Valley
Well,
fever.
I mean, Ray and I can tell you that is a real thing. But
Yeah, well, you got Jesus. You sound like Harvey Firestein.
Yeah, it's awful.
All right, there can be only one.
action.
It's bad. I took a COVID test because I'm feeling so bad. And so then he's like my barometer because you pretend that you don't have allergies.
I don't have allergies.
I'm the Kenny in the coal mine. Like
I don't have-
Exactly.
I don't
exactly.
have-
Kenny Highlander. So Kenny,
The canary in the coal mine.
Canary and the coal mine.
what was
Ken-
your
Highlander.
no, your middle name? Oh, I just forgot it.
That's good. Don't and
Vernon.
nobody leave it in the
no. What? I just lost it.
Oh, it's
well,
John
Winthrop,
Wayne's. No, it's Marion.
I'll take
Mary-
all.
no.
Those are all better.
What is yours? Mine's Todd.
I forgot.
Francis.
Oh,
that's
Francis.
right.
That's right. When
Kenny
I say
Frank.
I knew it was Marion or Francis or some shit
Kenny
like that.
Frank.
Yeah.
Frank is cooler.
Kenny
But
Frank.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Francis.
Frank, you definitely would not be in music. What would Frank be doing right
An artist.
No, he would be. Frank would be actually running. He would be running the record company and stealing from artists. That's what Frank would do, and that's why he has both sides. I am bummed out. I am watching ever since the Will Smith thing. And by the way, I think the Will Smith. Have you noticed the Will Smith thing has died down a little bit? Do you know why? Because he apologized 3 times. And
Oh,
at
the
one
3
point,
times.
Oh, he apologized 3 times. He wrote
Okay.
another thing, and at one point you're like, okay, you and it was seem heartfelt. Whether his publicist wrote it or not, he actually had to prove it going out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got these other guys. We had a guy who was a sexual assaulter, won a Grammy, and I just and we're all fine
Yeah,
with
but
it.
he or his publicist wrote an apology. I saw this.
I do
saw you
remember.
tweet
I do
something.
remember when he wrote that, and then he went back on the road though and didn't. I don't know, man. It's just weird. I always feel like
Can we name names? Because who are we talking about?
yeah, there's only one guy, and then you got another guy who was grooming high schoolers, and he just went away, and then he came back and he's headlining clubs again, and I just feel like we are too. And that's just my world. My
He got
world
suspended from.
kind of from show business a little bit, but my world just seems to be again taking care of my world. And Jen Kirkman, I don't always agree with her, but she's right, guys. No one's come out and just said if you can. Here's the thing. Here's the fucked up thing about show business. You can be the biggest asshole in the world, but if you continue to make them money, they will overlook everything.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it is a problem, and it's a problem that people get mad. Sorry, it's a problem that men, not all men, but a group of men get mad at.
When you bring it up,
Yeah, if you bring it up, especially if a woman brings it up. And so that's sort of exhausting. And it's just yet another indication of exactly what we're talking about, right? Like we're not even allowed to talk about how we feel about it.
right?
And at the same time, though, it is such a sliding scale, right? So as far as your argument, because I saw today, I'm so behind on Twitter. I try and like see where he's been and what he's up to.
And then 3 seconds
Yeah,
later,
you know,
he's
I'm
been
like,
Yeah.
you know, it's
25
like
more
Twitter.
places.
She deals with my Twitter like a parent deals with an obnoxious 3-year-old, where as long as she's fine, and when I get quiet, that's when she goes, now what did you do?
Yeah, I know that there's a Twitter battle going on.
Wasn't a battle.
But some of your people were saying back to you, but he apologized. The comedian who masturbated in front of female comics.
I know. Again, that's just that. Listen, that's a kink. You have a kink. I get it. That's whatever. Fine. We all have our thing. That didn't bother me a tenth of what that they went out of their way, him and his team, to cancel people's careers.
that part of
There's
it.
a bunch of girls that lost gigs. They were told you're never going to work again, and they didn't. And that's the part that bothers me. That's the fucking pure evil. Come out and go, do 50 minutes on it. Do a special about it. I always said the greatest thing he could have done was do a 25 city tour that would have sold out and give all the profits to a battered women's shelter. It was abusive to women, and he wins a Grammy. Fine. God bless him. God bless him.
Oh.
And here's the thing. You cannot deny that Louis C.K. is funny as shit. You cannot deny it. He is so funny. But it's kind of like saying Jeffrey Dahmer was a good cook. It doesn't negate the fact. It doesn't negate the fact. And the same with other guys. D'Elia. It's like at one point, and I get people are going to be mad at me for calling it out. But here's the thing. There's so many great comics that this shit has never happened to. Like, they aren't evil pricks. Brian Regan's a genius.
But
never
here's
gonna
my question, right? And I 100% playing devil's advocate after reading some of these comments. and we've talked about this a lot. I feel like we take it more personally because we're in comedy as well, and because as a female in comedy,
I've seen you get hassled with,
yeah, and you're extra incensed at the fact that these girls never got to have their career, and it's a damage that is irreparable.
Yeah, it's over now. They were young when it happened, and now they're and women
now
age
they're
out
at
more.
an age where
women age out
exactly.
more because of the industry. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of fucked up across the board.
So, but when is it okay for him to work again? When is it okay? And it is really,
I knew you were going to ask me this.
Devastating to me that he won a Grammy, because we all hope that everyone everywhere would take into consideration who he is and what he's done, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
No.
But logistically, when is it okay for him to work again and to be awarded for that work?
So here's the thing. So I knew you were going to bring this up. There is a point, and I learned it in the forum, that you apologize until listen. People go, you apologize, and people go, yeah, you fucked up, and go, yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I fucked up, and they go, yeah, you fucked up, and you go, I know, I apologize, I really am sorry, I fucked up. Kevin Hart was very cool about when the whole Grammy thing. He was like, he apologized a bunch of times. Then he wrote an apology, and then he said, you know what? I'm done apologizing. I've apologized for this. Louis never did that. He just kept going. And he tried to sneak into clubs and stuff. So the reality is,
and
to me,
did a massive ban on pencils, paper,
but
pens,
there's a point.
Phones.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think there's a point where and it's, by the way, it's not even him. It's everybody defending it. It's like, that's the point of their thing. Look, he has this thing. We all have our thing, whatever that is. That people got hurt by it, that people lost their careers because of it, that's fucked up. The other thing is that we get to a place, and it's not just, it's Matt Gaetz, there's this weird permeation of evil, and it's accepted evil now. It's okay. There's bodies fucking lying in the streets of Ukraine, and we're like, well, we can't get involved because we're not they're not a NATO country. I'm like, at one point, when do we become and by the way, I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for this. When do we become the nation we say we are? Because we're not right now.
One thing to point about where you're going with that is I know we're talking about
help me through this, both of you.
And comedians and things, because that's our lane.
I'm dark.
But I think there are people that, if they're effective or they're successful or their contributions to, society or whatever, they're allowed to be who they are, be assholes, be terrible people. And their art is still appreciated and rewarded. And there are people, and they're politicians that are pieces of shit, but they're effective for their party, so they're kept in play. Okay, so you're saying that it's in all industries. So why don't we just do this? If you're really good at your job, let's say you're one of the greatest comedians of all time, we should give you 2 murders a year. You should be able to kill 2 people a year. Cool. That's about equal, probably. Let's say if you're the greatest rapper of all time, which you kill 2 people. Rappers kill 2 people a year anyway. So it's a sliding scale.
Yeah. So what can you do? If you're the greatest rapper, you don't have to pay your taxes. Okay, let's just do this. If that's right, if you get to be, if you're really good at your job, if you're a great brain surgeon, you know what you get to do? You get to drive 150 miles an hour all the time if you want. And if you kill somebody, hey, I get it. So this vibe bothers me, because what happens is what's happening is, and I'm seeing it over the last, since about 2 years before Trump took over. And this is why we started the podcast, because Obama was getting shit on, and Obama was doing a great job. Yeah. He got handed a shit sandwich and he turned it around. And what happened was everybody started going, racism got hotter while Obama, because they couldn't believe a black guy was running it. And then it's been a sliding scale. And if Martin Luther King said, that's why I did the Armageddon update, if the universe arcs towards justice, I don't see it. If anything, I see it going the other way. Anybody else?
It doesn't feel that way, but I do see, I guess it's like so many layers of disappointing, because I think we really started from a place of being disappointed that whether it's right or not, or of course he has the right to, but to go back on the road and to come back into comedy clubs where we are. I'm not even talking about comedy anymore. Then I'm just saying this person in general. And then on top of that, for the second layer was for people to support that, especially a large group of men. And in the midst of supporting that, would simultaneously denigrate all women who came out and said, this is not okay. Clubs, you can't have him back there. I'd like to say shout out to Wendy Curtis in Denver who said no. One of the very few people who said no. So then women are getting attacked for standing up and saying it's not okay.
Right.
So now he's out there making money where we also have to go to work, and all of his people are attacking us for saying word one on social media. And then on top of that, someone, agents, managers, whatever, then they submit him for a Grammy because they're also completely insensitive. And then the people that vote gave him the Grammy. It's like so many layers of people sidestepping something that we wish people would have integrity about and just say it's not okay.
Fatty
Sorry,
Arbuckle,
not
his
okay.
her career was over for the rest of his life. It was a thing with at a party. He had a Coke bottle. Supposedly, the story is that he was raping this girl with a Coke bottle. It turned out to be a false story, but he lost his career for the rest of his life. So my thing is that it's not just that. It's just a symptom. That's a symptom. It's the part of me that bothers me is that the rest of the population goes for it. That people back up Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is screaming at Lloyd Austin this week, and I'm like, that motherfucker. Lloyd Austin is a badass military general. He's a badass military brain. Our father-in-law knows the guy, and he said he was great. He's a Republican. He was saying he couldn't believe that he got it. He's great. He was hope Lloyd Austin becomes the guy. And Matt Gaetz, this fucking piece of fluff in a bad suit, just starts yelling at him just for likes and clicks, and I just watch it and I go, what's happening to us? Were people in Nazi Germany going, yeah, we just kind of saw it fucking just layer, it's like planing, fucking
little by little.
Yes. Yeah. It feels like that. And the weird thing is as well is that Republicans are all screaming that we're doing that.
Yeah, all Democrats
so
are pedophiles.
It's this mind F all the way around where you're like, no. And now they're saying that these videos in Ukraine are faked.
The Russians are saying
the bodies are too evenly spaced apart, and I'm like, we can't even agree on that.
So I thought about this today. So the Russian media, by the way, everybody's saying that that they're saying that Ukraine killed their own people and put the bodies in the streets to make the Russians look bad. Well, first of all, so did Ukraine invade itself? And what's the by the way, let's track this. What exactly is the bonus of Ukraine killing their own people and then leaving the bodies in the streets and mass graves? You know, I mean, explain it to me. Did Ukraine bomb all its fucking buildings to rubble? Too? Did Ukraine? And yet we are in a place now because of fake news, and Putin said it flat out, fake news, where we now had this dumb daddy's boy billionaire who just started these phrases because he obviously is great. He's a great grifter. You got to admit the dude's a great grifter. It's stunning the shit he's got away with. And so everyone has jumped on that now. And I think the saddest thing to the people that support him is that the Republican Party really, truly fucking believes, really, truly, honestly believes that their people are so stupid that they'll buy anything. Marjorie Taylor Greene said all Democrats are pedophiles this week. Really? Except why are the Republicans in Tennessee trying to pass a bill that actually makes it legal to get married at any age?
I don't understand that. Can you talk about that? Because I have been avoiding the news, and you said this in passing today.
Well, the weird thing is California has the same type of thing. California, you can actually, with parental consent, well, there's two states, us and Missouri or Mississippi. There's two states that basically, California and Mississippi, Missouri, that if you want to, and your parents, in California, there has to be this. Let's say there's a 15-year-old, 14-year-old wants to get married, right? Yeah. Your parents have to agree, sign a thing, and then a judge has to agree. So I guess there's a level of, but it's still like
has to agree to what?
That it's okay, that the marriage is okay, that it's a real marriage.
What's the age that's allowed? Any age.
So
as long as the parents say it's okay, right?
Yeah, and so Gavin Newsom, get on this. What the fuck? Like, can we? So, and then there's other states that have no. You can't get married till you're 17 with parental consent. 18. There's a lot of states 18. And then this new thing, they're saying that
lawmakers in Tennessee will vote this week on a bill that would establish common law marriages in the state, but would not set a minimum age requirement.
Wait.
Wow.
Wait a second.
Yeah, right. Exactly. What the fuck? Exactly. This is by the way, this is where my mind went, what? So
come on, there's got to be another. There's like some kind of tax loophole
what
thing
they're
or something.
actually trying to do.
I think pastors wanted to marry younger.
What they're actually trying to do is an anti-LGBTQ
Right.
plus
Okay.
bill by calling a union between one man and one woman. But because they didn't set an age limit, the other side, Democrats, are coming out and saying that it's going to open the door for child sex abuse because there's no minimum age requirement.
And that is true. And they asked the guy who wrote the bill. And you know what he said? He didn't say, oh, I need to get on that. You know what he said? Yeah, there's no age requirement. And that was it. That's what he said.
Child marriage is still technically legal in 44 states.
Jesus Christ.
Including Tennessee. So maybe we could get to work on that.
Yeah, maybe we could
legislation.
pass a federal law that you can't get married until you're 18 years old.
I'm kind of shocked to hear that. I thought that was.
I know, but it's
that's
like-
other countries.
I know, but this is where when you start to unravel it, like what happened to us? I don't remember. You know, when you look at the 50s, the 50s and the 60s, even the 70s, maybe, you know, I blame disco for all of this. Honestly, I blame disco. You know, shaking your booties out on the lighted dance floor. Maybe that's where things went sideways. But it seems to me that evil right now has a grip.
Yeah.
And it's bothering me. It's really, I got it today. I'm watching the news. I'm watching Ukraine. I'm watching Russia say it's not happening. Then I'm watching the right saying Putin, you know, why shouldn't I support Putin? I shouldn't, you know, Ukraine did this and this and this. Ukraine didn't do fucking anything. How are you liberating an already free country? That's like the bullshit is so thick now that we can't even
Truth
wade
is not
through
the
it.
truth, yeah.
Yeah, we can't wade through it to find out what's real. And then we've got like all these people calling everybody pedophiles, and yet this bill goes through. We've got Matt Gaetz currently still under, I looked it up today, still under investigation for sex trafficking 17-year-old girls that he paid on Venmo. And so, and yet these guys are screaming. You've got Ted Cruz screaming at probably the most qualified justice we've ever had nominated, Ketanji Brown Jackson. And listen, here's the thing. I don't care if you're right wing or left wing. You're that qualified as a judge.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got nothing to say here.
Right,
I may not agree with your rulings.
Approved.
Oh, and then they just outlawed. So they outlawed abortion in Texas,
Oklahoma.
and Texas kind of already, but Oklahoma, that you can do 10 years in prison now if you perform an abortion, and it's in the Constitution. So constantly, I just don't.
It seems like we have.
I feel like the fucking life is getting sucked out of me, and I'm not usually this guy.
If we have a sort of like if it bleeds, it leads. Let just ran
totally.
away with it.
It's
Because the
dirty
news-
laundry.
Yeah, still
and
agrees on.
social media, and everybody's like a news outlet. So everybody is just we're addicted to
Offense and
Yes.
anger,
Yes.
and bullshit.
and now we all have the power to amplify it. So it's just a fucking.
We're doing it
freight train.
now.
Yeah.
We are actually doing it. I do it
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
The Armageddon update, we do it. But today I was thinking I could not think of anything to write about because usually I pick the one thing
There's
that's
so
blowing up.
much.
That's what I was like. I was like, I'm watching the news, going click, click, fuck. There's
start writing, you're like, oh,
there's-
shit, this-
yeah,
oh,
exactly.
shit.
There's so much to write about. And then we go back to the pedophile kid thing. Woody Allen is still going to the Oscars or whatever, and he's fucking
That's another great example.
34 years younger, and it was his daughter. It was his fucking daughter. Like and yet we still let it go. Explain to me this. Like my dad, I saw my dad get laid more and have more girlfriends than anybody. I didn't see him get
Like
laid.
I was gonna
Jesus
say.
gonna
Christ.
say,
I
what?
did not
Just
see that.
Hold
By the
on.
way, as a child, I heard about it. I guess he practiced his brag to me before he went to the pizza shack and told his buddies. But he did it classy because he, got women based on his personality, his charm, and how funny he was. And then he totally,
Lied.
That was it. That's where it ended. Yeah.
But he did do it. He didn't groom a 17-year-old. He never even thought of the shit. Like, he didn't just whip his dick out in front of people. And then we got. I'm kind of frustrated. I don't know. Help me, both of you. I need some help because I don't know how to get out of this. I started thinking about it yesterday, and I just kind of went down this spiral of like, oh, and then Putin starts pulling everybody out of Ukraine, and all I thought, people were like, oh, it's good, he's backing it off, and I go, my first thought is he's backing it off so we can either unleash a chemical weapon or a tactical nuke. He's
Yeah.
getting his guys out of there so he doesn't hurt them because he's getting his fucking ass handed to him in Ukraine.
Yeah.
So it feels like we're in a timeline, a historical timeline, and if you look at history, it goes like this: that we're on. And I thought when Pop got elected, it was change, and It's not.
I feel like the only real way is to just take a step back, take a fucking breath, and just like shut it off. Shut off Twitter for a couple of days. Take a break, and come back with some objectivity, and just go, okay, what's really good? Maybe we can look past, the fucking what Matt Gaetz has said again and what he's done. Like they're always going to be saying some crazy fucking wild shit.
Well, but again, like
there's
you said,
more people listening and agreeing and following it now, though. That's what's trippy.
Exactly. I agree with what you said. It's the people that back them up and will spend no time finding out the truth. I wrote today, I was talking about how if you just look at what the Republicans want to do, first of all, they had their last platform they had zero. There was nothing on it. They said, we're the Trump platform. There was actually no list of what we stand for. And when you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for anything, for everything. Yeah. So here's the thing. They did that. They put that out. Now they're pulling voting rights. Mm-hmm. They want to restrict everybody's rights. If you're LBG, if you which, by the way, I don't understand why these fuckers. Why do you give a shit where people use their holes for? Their flappy parts and their holes. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why are you thinking so hard?
Well, they
always
frame
focus
it.
on that.
Yeah, don't they?
Yeah.
They frame it in a way that it opens up the door for pedophilia because all gay people are potential pedophiles. Like, what? Right. I'm not. What? How did you do the Donald
And yet,
Trump
Roy Moore was grooming 15-year-olds.
That's the other side
and
of it.
they will never address
they're
that.
Screaming now
The
is
Dugars,
pedophiles, and all the people we're seeing get accused, indicted, under investigation are all them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
but here's the problem. There was a great clip today. There was a couple of clips that I saw. There was the one that there was one yesterday about a guy and there's a follow got Patriot Takes. It tells you what's going on like the right wing social media. Guy shows a picture of Mickey Mouse. It's a gift card of Mickey and Minnie Mouse, and Minnie is hugging Mickey. And he's like, "Look, man, Disney's a bunch of pedophiles. You see this picture right here? You don't see a penis?" And I wanted to go, like, if you were that dude's friend, you'd be like, "Hey, dude, don't fucking talk about the Mickey Mouse penis thing anymore because there's no penis there. Yes. You're seeing a penis. Seeing a penis."
People are out of their minds.
But
where was the penis in the picture? I don't even see it. Usually, I see penises.
Look at the gift card. I'm sorry, what? It's a gift card. It's a Mickey Minnie gift card.
Does it look like a penis?
Well, I mean, anything could be,
I don't know.
Oh,
man.
in her dress? I don't know. Mickey Mouse is going to be able to start hugging again at Disney parks. That's going to cause a problem. Well, that's
Is he holding
story.
a penis? He better not be. Not if he's hugging me. This is what I mean. I'm tired. And is anybody else tired? I'm just tired. I'm tired. And what happened a couple days ago? And I'll say it again. Do something kind to somebody for no reason. I was somewhere the other day, and a dude. Oh, I know what it was. I was getting on the bus to go. We were traveling, and I was getting the bus. Mm-hmm. Dude grabs my luggage and pulls it on the bus for me because I had two big suitcases, and it's so weird. It was such a little kindness, such a tiny kindness. It was nice. You kept
thanking him. You couldn't stop. You go, "No, really, I can't believe this. The way the world is now." And he was like, "Okay, I got it." And you were like, "No, really."
Yeah.
So I told you when I was at the mall and I stopped and waited an extra 15 seconds to hold the door for an older lady, and she just kept right in my face like, "Thank you. You were raised so well. People don't." Yeah. And I mean, it's like we're so blown away by acts of kindness. It's really sad.
That would change everything, though. If everybody did a little thing, and this is so trite. I know it sounds trite and lame, but if you just did it, because it surprised me so much because we're living in such a dark time. Like, here's the thing. What makes me laugh is that when you think about the old, like when they talk about the Spanish Inquisition, you think, oh, they were just fucking monkeys and they had no technology and blah blah blah. We have the shit. My phone talks to space and then calls you. So we have the most technology. There is no more we have the most ever. Yep.
And we have not evolved
at all. And there's bodies lying in the streets in Ukraine. Like, what the fuck? Like,
again, the thing that blows my mind more about that than anything is that I mean, of all the things that since Donald Trump got into office. How now the truth is not the truth. They said it. I didn't know what they meant. They were right. And now that we can't even agree that Putin is an evil dictator, that he's committing war crimes, that he's murdering these innocent people, we have
They were lying about executing him.
video proof.
Yep.
We have eyewitness accounts from everyone,
We
not
have-
just one Democrat or
We
something.
have rubble.
There's no cities there. And we can't agree on that. That has been turned into a political talking point that we're arguing about. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
And I think that's where, and how do you fix it? That's what I've seen the Armageddon update, is that you got to call it out all the time. And that's why today, when someone was saying, there's some female comics that are mad about this, and I think they should be. And they pointed out that how come all these male comics are doing it? Well, because let's be the reality of it. The reality of it is there's very powerful people in show business that make a lot of money off certain performers,
And that's what
they do not want you talking shit about them, no matter what they did.
I feel sick that he got that award. I feel sick about it. But again, I mean, I guess I can't point to anything that says that it can't happen. I think what it's tied to is me hoping for decency that doesn't seem to exist.
Well, how does Mitch McConnell have 8% approval rating in Kentucky? 8%. He had 8% approval rating in Kentucky. He actually, Deripaska, he's given Oleg Deripaska a deal to build a $300 million aluminum plant in Kentucky, who's a Russian oligarch, and
I bet
he
you
wins
that
the election.
Stuff is under the microscope now. All of our politicians that have gotten, because they're going after everything. Just today, Pop sanctioned. I'm on allergy medication, and I am just like, I can't even. Yeah, it's not that fun.
I'm with you.
It's actually dry and fuzzy and far away
That's why I
and
don't take it.
confused. Ken and I are both like, where are we?
Titus angry, keep smiling.
That's what I've been doing.
Titus mad, keep talking, fumble over words, but say something.
Yeah, that's what's happening in my head. Oh God, you can't talk, your mouth's dry. Drink water before say something. Uh-oh, lost your place in the middle of sentence.
Nod, smile, giggle a little tiny bit so he turns away. Maybe change subject.
Is my nose visibly running? Because it feels like it.
Pop just sanctioned Putin's two daughters today.
Right, family,
and Putin has really kept them hidden. And we all know it's because, first of all, a lot of his stuff is in their names, they were saying. But also to protect them. And I was listening to them talk about his kids today, and one of them, they said, one of them went into medical technology, and the other one tried to be in acrobatic rock and roll, but failed. And I was like, that's me. The other one is my sister.
She tried to be pink.
Acrobatic rock and roll, and it didn't work out. And so now she's doing something else. But I was like, all right, I see you. But we just sanctioned them today. So we're going down the food chain. There's no way. I can't fathom that our politicians would continue to be able to take money.
So yesterday, 63 Republicans voted to not re-up NATO. They actually voted to basically get us out of NATO. Like, what did that cost Putin?
Wow.
63 said, yeah, we don't need NATO. Are you kidding?
Right now, we're in the middle of...
This is when we need it.
Yeah, you know what? I think, because if Russia takes over Ukraine, they're fucking right at Poland's door. And you think he's going to stop? And I don't... Here's the other thing.
Did you see what Millie said yesterday?
No. Here's the other thing that depressed me, and then you can tell me that, is that we keep saying that we can't do anything because Putin has nukes. So at what point he rolls into Poland and we go, well, we can't do anything because he has nukes. Then he rolls into Hungary and we go, we can't do anything in Finland and Sweden because he's got nukes. Well, what the fuck do we have nukes for? Like, I mean, I don't want to use nukes. I'm just saying that, like, will he really do that? His trucks don't work. How do you think his nukes are doing?
Yeah.
Like, he can't get a truck across the fucking mud.
Millie testified yesterday in front of Congress, and it was chilling. I mean, he looked sick. Like, I almost thought like he seemed emotional for a general. He said that the potential for significant international conflict is increasing, not decreasing. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is the greatest threat to peace and security of Europe and perhaps the world. He said, in my 42 years serving in the U.S. military, the Russian invasion of Ukraine is threatening to undermine not only European peace and stability, but global peace and stability that my parents and a generation of Americans fought so hard to defend.
Gave their lives for.
We're now facing two global powers, China and Russia, each with significant military capabilities, both who intend to fundamentally change the rules-based current global order. He's saying
so
this is not going to stay in Ukraine.
Can I say what did I say to you yesterday when you get home? I said we need to pack a bag. I said I need you to take that other suitcase and just pack a bug out bag. Do you remember me saying that to you yesterday?
Yes, vaguely.
Yeah, and I'm like, get it. Just put some stuff that we desperately need in case something goes wrong, because it feels like this isn't stopping. And the weird thing is, Putin doesn't seem to give a shit. I've said it before. You're worth $200 billion. You could have literally made your country. You could have turned it into something because you've got all the oil wealth. You could have made the people love you. Instead, they want you out now. Of course, half the people they interview have to be in Russian. They're like, no, man, we are getting rid of Nazis into Ukraine. I mean, the Jewish president, that Nazi? And that his family was killed by the Nazis? What the fuck?
Do you know what we all need right now? Actually, it might
Feels?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Because I just need it, man. Thank God.
I'm out of my mints. Those mints.
Those were great.
I gotta say, they're never in the ad copy, but they should be. They were so
They're on the website, right? Can
great,
we get them?
yeah.
I'm gonna order a gross of them because I need them right now.
They were great, like before a show. I just noticed not long after that I don't have anxiety like I did. It's pretty crazy. I just feel more relaxed. So if
grounded to the earth, centered.
If you guys haven't been paying attention, Feels is premium CBD delivered to your doorstep, so you don't even have the anxiety of having to go shop for it. It naturally helps reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. We've gotten some really great testimonials from people who have listened to us and used this that are dealing with health issues and stuff, and it's amazing. Place a few drops under your tongue. You feel a difference within minutes. Or also, we highly suggest the mints because they. I
sleep better. I sleep better too.
If you don't know about it, they have a hotline. It's free. You can call and ask questions or whatever. I mean, so you have no reason to not do this. I can't think because I'm on allergy medicine. So anytime, jump in, anybody, anytime. That's right.
All right. So Feels, guys, here's what I notice. I take a couple drops before I go to bed. I sleep better all night. I actually sleep through the night most of the time. I mean, unless I have to pee, but then I go right back to sleep, which is great because I'm getting older and I have to pee sometime.
You know what that means? Somebody needs their prostate checked.
No, I did it. I had to pee when I was a kid too. I just peed in the bed.
No.
But Feels is since I've been using it, I noticed that I'll come home stressed. I do a couple drops. I go sit down and watch some TV, and within like 45 minutes, I'm like.
They did actually put the mints in here in the middle. Finally, if you need a dose of chill on the go, you take a new CBD infused mint for a clear-headed feeling and bonus fresh breath. Yeah, they are good. They're minty. So start feeling better with Feels. You can join Feels monthly membership to make your self-care easy. Become a member today by going to feels.com/Titus, and you'll get 50% off your first order. Free shipping as well. That's feals.com/Titus to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. Feels.com/Titus. We do need to order those mints.
Right. Back to the nightmare that you said right before we started that.
Let me ask you this.
About General Milley, which is the worst, which is the scariest shit I've ever heard. And I think that was probably from that guy, the scariest shit I've ever heard. Go ahead.
Are we really worse off now in our time in history, in world history? Or does it just feel like that? Because of
my grandma says yes. She says she's never seen it like this ever before.
You got to remember, grandma was born lived through the Depression.
Yeah.
She's born in the Depression. She went through World War II. She went through
but let's look at it this
Vietnam, Korea.
I'm just playing devil's
advocate. The ups of Eisenhower, the downs of everything else. Vietnam, yeah.
Had social media and 24-hour news cycle been around then, don't we think that those times,
Yes.
the late 60s, the civil rights, the Civil War, what if the same technology was around then that is around now, that it would feel the same? I'm trying to look for a hopeful silver lining.
Well, here's the thing.
I haven't thought of
would
that.
it have changed anything? Because imagine if they could have tweeted during the Civil War.
That's the thing, is
I
that-
just shot my brother in the face because
Yes.
he's out of
Is it-
yeah.
is it
Yes,
affecting it
we
good or
are
bad?
over immersed and overexposed. I agree
True
with
that.
that. However, I think that part of the issue is that because of social media, it has created a different dynamic of conflict,
Yeah.
of falsifying videos and pictures and
Deep faking stuff.
deep faking. It's like, I think that social media is part of the problem. And
So here's the other side. What
Okay.
if let's say we pull social media and nobody knows anything?
But then if you go back to the invention of the printing press, there was bullshit propaganda being put into the news.
Literally,
It was
probably the first
immediately.
paper.
yeah,
The
and some
campfire had
really
bullshit
great
stories.
things have happened because of social media.
Right?
Yeah.
Flash mobs, dance videos.
Dancing grannies.
Yeah, dancing grannies.
I had a
kick ass.
dancing granny flash mob come when I headlined Irvine a couple years ago, and that was amazing.
Yeah,
as much as I
puppy
love
videos,
old people,
as I talked about in the Armageddon update.
puppy videos, awesome. Yeah, but people are pretty gnarly on social media. I mean, I always
new
go
favorite
back to, because people say, dumb shit to me all the time. They say stuff to you and you enjoy it.
Don't enjoy it, but I will not. It's weird. I am very. And I apologize if you guys think I'm too harsh sometimes. Sometimes the level of bullshit and the level of propaganda and the level of lies is so over the top, and that's what I was talking about in the Armageddon update. People, because I think we're all kind of feeling like this. At least the normal people that we're feeling like, what the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
And so I think the only way good people have to scream sanity.
Okay, but
I know, I agree.
I will kill you. And I'll have a reason, a justifiable excuse, because my
I don't think
attorney will
anyone-
say
I don't think-
I was hopped up on allergy
I
medication.
don't think anyone would deny that you could kill me and get away with it scot-free.
People don't listen and don't change their minds when you scream at them, when you're mean and nasty and talk down to them and call them names and F off, whatever. There's no opening for listening or change. Sarah Silverman got that guy, the Brooklyn dad, Defiant guy, right? Isn't that him?
No, it's a different guy, but yeah.
It was what
It's a
was
different
his
guy,
name?
Ken something, yeah.
But anyway, it was like a massive shift, and he ended up getting a bunch of followers and turned away from Trump because she just got into a dialogue with him instead of arguing with him. And so I do think that sometimes we should just speak to each other like we're human beings.
Well, okay, so I will say, okay, I agree.
He has a retort.
No, agreed. I agree. I agree. You know that guy actually, the guy who did all that and changed his whole thing,
what was
got
his name?
trashed. He got the right jumped on him and
course,
thrashed
yeah.
him, and they destroyed him. He's not. I think he's off Twitter now.
There was a study done recently, I think the last month. Of course, UC Berkeley did it. So, take that however to the left
Bunch
and
of
to the right.
libtards.
Right, that's what I'm saying, right. That they studied people that stopped watching Fox News.
Saw that. I read this.
Oh yeah,
It was
and
like-
watch CNN for
They-
so many.
right.
Yeah,
They turned into they started to appreciate more factual
and
information.
question
They were more,
things more.
yeah,
They
exactly.
were
They said that
Their
almost
IQ jumped.
It was
Yeah.
like 60% of the people that in the study started to not believe Fox News.
Well,
So-
as of April 4th, OAN is off DirecTV.
Good.
So I don't know
Propaganda network's over, man.
what
I mean,
else can they be on.
So if we could amplify that kind of approach, like if there were, who do we get behind? Who's doing the right things, and how do we celebrate them? And how do we
Christopher Titus is one doing the right
Christopher Titus,
things, right?
for
Let's
sure.
put that down.
Yep, there's right. Christopher Titus, then Titus, Christopher Todd, then
OAN is only available on Verizon Fios and online through its app.
all right.
So if you start out with me on the if I go, oh my God, look what happened here. These guys, Matt Gaetz just said this, and they go, Matt Gaetz is a pure American. He is everything. You're a dumb fuck. If you start there with me, Okay, I'll just do
that
this.
person I just wouldn't.
I will
talk
just
to.
go boop beep.
If they're doing that, I don't have any time.
I
for
will
that.
tell you this. I'm so tired of Twitter now. I'm tired of it.
And now Elon Musk is on the board.
Well, I don't care about that. You can't bitch about it being a free country and then be mad that Elon Musk had the money. I think it's weird that we let people get this wealthy. I think that's weird. I'm not being a socialist. I'm just saying there's a point when you have a $200 billion.
I don't mind people getting that wealthy. I just think he should have to pay taxes.
Yeah, just pay the same
he shouldn't
percentage.
rip on-
Well, he did. He paid $51 billion. Do you know he paid $51 billion in taxes? That's a lot of taxes.
Yeah, but what is that percentage though?
Yeah, but that's
no,
what I'm saying.
I thought he paid zero.
No, he had to, I think he personal taxes, but he had to pay his corporate taxes and his business taxes. Look it up. It's $51 billion or $13 billion. It was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money, but again, just pay the same percentage that I or a teacher or a fireman pays.
Tesla paid $0.
Yes. Well, what did he pay? What was that? He just had to sign. Oh,
Well-
on his tax. Oh, on his stock. He had to pay taxes on his stock.
So he
Capital gains.
personally has an $11 billion tax bill this year.
Oh, I thought it was 51. 11
Tesla
billion.
paid zero.
Do you know why? Because honestly, they're trying to change the world with the electric cars.
Between 2014 and 2018, Musk paid $455 million in taxes personally on $1.52 billion of income.
That's right. 455 million out of 1.25 billion.
That's about.
It's about 40%. No. 1.5. 22%.
455. Yeah.
Right.
So it's not
Comparable.
33 or 35, but yeah, that's personally, I mean, that's what he pays.
I can't bitch at a dude that had to
But
pay
$11
$455 million
this year he will have to pay because I bet you're right, because of his capital gains. The world is super crazy, and so highly recommend that you get your house ready, have a Brita filter, have extra pantry in the garage.
Yep.
And
buy a cheap refrigerator, freezer for the garage.
yeah, but there might not be power, so keep that in mind and get a solo stove. We have a solo stove.
I was just actually took the cover out. So it came with a cool cover on it that protected it. It's stainless steel. By the way, the way it's designed, I can't fathom how it works, but the science that went into it is ridiculous because the smoke, not annoying. The ash, it burns better than having the cabin, having a fireplace, and you and I trying to get stuff to burn.
It's not good.
How we have to heat it. It's crazy how well it works.
Sometimes that fireplace smokes the house, but this thing doesn't do that. You don't smell.
It's crazy how well it works.
Smoke after or anything like that. It's awesome for sitting in the backyard with your friends, sitting around it. That's what we love it for.
And not have
totally portable. You can take it with you.
Yeah, and not creating any problems, instead of just doing it in the ground, you're not creating a problem. It's got its own thing.
Yep. So we have one in our backyard. We have used it whenever our friends are over. We light a fire and sit around and have wine or whatever. Solo stove is
wine. We have wine. Not whatever. Wine, and some people, you drink vodka, but yes.
Well, that's why I said or whatever.
What
did it sound like?
Cocaine orgies.
Oh, is that what it sounded like? Oh, yeah, no, we don't. My mahogany's a federal
that's
officer.
Madison Cawthorn, the Republican Party. We got to talk about that after, too. That was dark.
So yeah, you can also take it camping. Brilliantly engineered 304 stainless steel and a 360-degree airflow system that maximizes efficiency while minimizing the smoke. It's easy to light. That's another thing. You just need a few little pieces of starter and it's going in minutes. So shop now, get up to 30% off fire pits all month long, and use promo code Titus at checkout to get an extra $20 off of that. Plus you get a lifetime warranty and free 30-day returns. Just go to solostove.com and remember you get $20 off when you use promo code Titus. So you get 30% off.
It's a good product.
$20. It's a really good product. I think so. And if Armageddon happens, you can cook.
And your smoke signals won't be a signal.
They won't see you.
So no one will see
you. They won't
you.
be able to find you in the
Security.
woods where you're hiding.
They can't track you because of the lack of smoke. Good job. It's a good point. It's a valid point. Madison Cawthorn, this is another fucking dark, weird story.
This was weird.
Madison Cawthorn comes out on a podcast interview and he says something to the effect of he got invited to a sex orgy and a cocaine party with a bunch of Republicans. And he says he gets invited to it, and he's just kind of riffing. He's got his baseball cap on, and he's just talking. Next thing I know, like 4 days later, he's literally in the office. He comes out of Kevin McCarthy and Steve Scalise, basically raked him over the coals. And then he goes, "Well, what I said wasn't. They weren't doing bumps of cocaine. They weren't. It wasn't a sex thing. It was a what?"
But you said
you
said orgy.
It was the weirdest.
And you said cocaine.
It was the weirdest backpedal or back roll I've ever seen in my life, man. It was
then
bizarre.
They brought him in, and they're like, "Hey, zip it." They didn't
That's
say,
what I
"We
said.
don't do that."
The first rule of Orgy Club is you don't talk about Orgy Club. The second rule of Orgy Club is you don't talk about the cocaine in Orgy Club.
He said, "I can't trust you." Oh, that's the response. Okay, so it's happening.
He was trying to paint himself as a hero on this podcast, but he's like 25 years old. And you remember being 25, you ran your mouth. You didn't think anybody was going to hear the podcast. You just aren't thinking. Your brain is just recently formed, maybe. In his case, maybe not. And you go and say dumb stuff. And then turns out when you're a politician, people listen to it.
Doesn't
And
his
they
stuff
tell
not
other
work
people.
too? So
Oh my gosh. This conversation.
Some good interviewers can get
depends,
you. I watched the interview. The guy was pretty good. He's like, "Tell me about him." And he was doing that thing where you're like, come on. It's like what happens sometimes I get off the plane. Every once in a while, the TMZ guys will come up to me like, "Titus, what do you think about that, huh? Can you let us know?"
They're trying to.
And I've a couple of times fall for it. I don't anymore because I just don't. I'm just like, guy came up to me last week and he totally different approach. We got off the plane and he just goes, "Hey man," he goes, "I know you don't like talking to us." He goes, "But I wanted to ask you about it." I go, "No man, Harvey Levin is buddies with. I got no
Finish
time."
the sentence. Harvey Levin
is buddies with Trump, and I got no.
But you just said Harvey
him.
Levin is buddies with, and I got no time. You actually just said the.
I always assume that people. I do not like to invoke the name of he who shall not be named.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. May I say that?
Don't say it 5 times.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something.
Yeah, exactly. Candyman, Trump. Fuck. It's over. So that's crazy. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's not on any committees, can't do anything. Her and Boebert are literally. It's the dumbest. And I'm watching all of it, and this is what bothers me today. We're electing, so the stupid people that vote are electing stupider people. We've got war raging. We've got one of the smartest generals we know that's currently alive telling us that, hey man, we're not fucking around. It's not going to get less. It's going to get more. We literally have a guy who fomented a fucking coup on the U.S. government that literally got people to attack the Capitol. And he's walking around on his fucking golf course playing golf. And these flaccid January 6th committee members, they said this week, I wonder if we should have issued a criminal referral to Merrick Garland. You think fucking so? You think maybe you should have just said we have enough evidence? And they keep saying this. No, we have enough evidence. Robert Mueller said flat out, oh no, once Trump's out of office, he'd definitely be arrested. Robert Mueller said that. And they've done absolutely nothing. And Merrick Garland, who we thought was going to be this guy, the rumor is now that was a report that Biden said in his office, he's like, I wish we had a guy who was actual prosecutor instead of a meandering judge. And so what we're doing is we're letting everybody know, and this is why I think it's getting worse. We're letting everybody fucking know that you can do anything you fucking want. You can get a Grammy, you can continue, you can try to overthrow the government, and you can continue to run for fucking president, and we're letting it go. You can lie to every committee, you can do anything you fucking want, unless you're black, and then you're gonna get shot in the street. So, and I know that sounds really liberal, but we only have a history and evidence of everything I just said.
Yeah, that's what's so disheartening. And
if you're a black judge that's going to be on the Supreme Court, you're going to get called a pet. You're going to be called.
Insane.
You're going to be said you're light on pedophiles. What the fuck are you talking?
Yeah, she was treated really horribly.
So the darkness is creeping in on me, just so you know. And I don't know what to do.
I thought it crept.
No,
a long time ago.
No, I you know me. I'm used to it, so I push it back all the time with the Armageddon. But this week
it feels hopeless. That's the thing. And so but part of that is, I will say, you are correct that you're inundated. Like used to, people watch the news half an hour a day. They got caught up.
That was it.
They heard the next day. Yep. But you have it going in the car. You know, it's it's always our background noise
I put on the
in
Eagles.
the house.
Nope. I put on the Eagles.
You got it
Very
on an IV
briefly.
drip. Like it's you're getting.
And it'll be our background noise in the house
I've got a darkness
while he's,
IV.
while
Evil.
he's
Let's
on
get
Twitter
rid of evil,
reading.
but you're
that
injecting
stuff.
it into your
You're
skin.
putting it
You're
in.
putting
Yeah.
it in, dude. Yeah.
So you're on Twitter and I'll hear you go, "Oh my gosh, I can't, babe, there's babies in the street." Like, and the news is on the TV. And then you get in your car and you drive here and you listen to it. And so you have to take a break sometimes. Yes, it's horrible stuff happening, but no, you're not being inundated with all the positive stuff.
Right, that's the part. Is you
Yes,
got to pull.
yes,
pull
thank
come
God.
You know
a
what
little
I
bit
did?
out of
Thank
it.
God for Rex Chapman, because yes, I have to be honest with you. There are so many times that I'm going through it, and Rex Chapman puts a video up. You got to watch this, and it's a little kid walking a dog, jumping in a puddle, and the dog waits. And then the kid picks up, and the kid's like one,
Yeah.
and he grabs the thing and he walks the dog, and I'm like, and my soul gets a little bit better.
But beyond just feel good things, but like the things that are countering some of that terrible, the things that are going on in the world. There's people making policy changes, and there's things that have to be going on behind the scenes that nobody's fucking hearing about.
We hope. I swear to God, I hope Merrick Garland brings down a fucking full-on Scorsese, Goodfellas beatdown on these. I hope one day we just go, "What do you mean? Everybody got arrested?" That would be fucking awesome. At 6 a.m. this morning, 15 people of the Trump administration were taken into custody. That's what we need to hear. Because if we don't hear that, what's going to happen is what happened in Nazi Germany. Hitler got out of prison. They let him go back to speaking. Next thing you know, 6 million Jews are dying in camps.
I know we're seeing.
By the way, that timeline's a little short, but it happened. It took a
That
minute.
was a jump.
And I was like, let me let him finish the sentence so I can segue into the next ad. And that was the end of that sentence. So we'll wait
Okay, so
until a bunch of Jews die in camps.
let me ask you this.
Oh, do
I
tell.
hear what you're saying, and I get it. But no, I get it. One point, what do you do? Like I say, scream sanity. We've got to be as loud screaming what to do right morally, and got to be screaming as loud how to fix it, or it just goes down the tube. I mean, I have this weird thing that we have this little platform, and if we can make a little bit of difference, fine. But I don't quite understand how taking a break or not noticing it helps.
Oh, it does. 100%.
Helps me personally.
It helps you personally. It helps your family. It helps you and the people
I knew it was
around
going to be
you.
about her and the dogs.
You and the people around you
Right.
to not be as anxiety filled, to not be as angry at the world, to not be as hopeless feeling. And if everybody did that, just imagine the difference. It helps you then when you get in your car to not be as angry at people, which then causes a chain reaction. When you're horrible to people that aren't really doing anything that bad, then they start having a bad day. I mean,
am I
there is a
horrible?
chain reaction
What am I horrible
in
to?
everything that we do. And I think, you can unplug sometimes, and I promise you it will.
Okay.
It does
But
help.
I think that's what this podcast is about. I'm at my end. It's not getting better.
Here's the other thing that will help you is like you're asking for what to do. So that one
What
of the
do you do?
suggestions is if you were to unplug just momentarily, it will give you objectivity so that when you come back, you can see don't give so much weight to all of these terrible things because they're not all equal. They're not all going to have the same outcome.
Well, I do.
And let me just say this really quickly. The algorithm is a bitch.
Yeah.
Because
I'm really glad that we had an intervention.
you are
from you.
so
Thank you.
locked into
I'm really
your
glad.
algorithm.
I'm really glad we had an intervention.
But like on Instagram, all I get shown as my suggested
Yorkie
things,
videos.
Yorkie videos. It's all I see.
It's awesome.
Fitness, food, cooking stuff, and Yorkie videos. So we sit on
I
the
get
road and I show
snowboard
him.
and mountain bike crashes.
Yeah.
And which make me giggle.
And so, but on Twitter, which is a much darker algorithm, I obviously care about cancer a great deal because of my mom. And so
And your new show, you're trying to make a difference and with people that are caregivers.
my new show's about cancer. I really care about that. And so I saw a lady who was dying on Twitter. And I don't know how I saw it. Somebody that I follow liked it. And so I liked it. Just, and, said something encouraging, just whatever. All I see on Twitter now is people with cancer. And they're all dying. And it's the most horrific thing ever. It's part of why I stay off of Twitter because I don't want to, I can't get out of the algorithm. And I also started following Janie Godley, who's a UK comedian who's going through chemo. And so it's all I see. or it's people posting that the person whose account it was died today.
It doesn't take much for the algorithm to get triggered.
It's crazy. And then I sit there telling him everyone's dying.
Yeah.
No, they're not. It's just all I'm seeing.
Yes.
I was listening to Tune In yesterday.
This episode also brought to you by Athletic Greens, something that I
Calm me down and make me feel better. Thank you,
that I
Athletic
really
Greens.
need to take every day right now, with allergy season upon us hardcore. Also, with the new variant coming, with all of our digestive issues that we have as a nation, especially in the United States right now, this is something that we use every day. It's
And can I say this? It is so good. Like, it's not like there was something a while back we had, remember that was green, and it was just, we had to get ready to take it. We had to be like, okay, 3, 2, 1.
We used to do it together.
We would do it like a
Hold our
competition,
nose,
like,
yeah.
did you down it, and you'd be like, this Athletic Greens, so
I
good.
actually just, while we were just talking right then about the horrors, I just subscribed. So we're getting it every month because we had some and we're about to run out.
You're like,
and
he
so
needs this. He's got to get rid of this stress tumor.
I just saw that it was coming up and I was like, oh, I meant to subscribe. So especially right now, it optimizes your immune system, which we all need. Better gut health, which I 100% need. If you don't like taking pills, this is powder. You just put it in a shaker. You can get the shaker from them. Shake it up. And I put the D3 dropper. I put a drop of that in there every day, which most people now are deficient in D. So if you're taking it, you're absorbing 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens.
What?
I do it in the morning, empty stomach. I drink water, then I drink this. It supports gut health, nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, aging, which a lot of people are concerned about.
I'm using it for that reason alone. I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you don't really have gut health problems.
No.
You can eat anything and
I don't
you're
have a
fine.
whole lot of problems health-wise, really. I really don't.
You really don't. No, you're fine. You can eat anything. You can fall asleep
I'm going to be the guy that's
instantly.
Full head of hair, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Full head of hair.
Yeah.
People that get mad at him on Twitter are sometimes like, oh, you're losing your hair. And I'm like, you should see baby pictures. He's had that widow's peak his whole life.
It freaks me out. When I was 3, it was like back here. I'm like, could my hair start on the front?
No, guys. His forehead really is that big. It always has been. It's not receding.
That's right.
So it's cheaper than buying all these individual supplements. You're basically investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance.
Yep.
So right now it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially in the cold and flu season. It's just 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. You don't need to take a million different pills and supplements. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of the immune-supporting vitamin D, the dropper thing I told you about. What? And 5 free travel packs with your first purchase, which we keep in our suitcase and take with us.
They're in my bag now, my computer bag.
All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Titus. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Titus to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. It's a great product. Really great product. And it tastes kind of tropical, which I don't know how they did that, but God bless them.
It tastes, it's good enough for you drinking it. Like, it doesn't feel like you have lawn clippings. It's just something you can drink and you're
dirt.
fine. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're like, do I need to put Sunday.com into this?
Check this out. It's funny to me because they all the COVID protocols, they packed them off, right? Well, there's a new variant coming out. If you just pull the story up, as I was getting out of the car to come in here, there was the Democrats are now not wearing masks. Uh-huh. They went to a gathering.
I don't get it.
They went to a gathering and all the way to Kamala Harris, one of her assistants, is now quarantined with COVID.
Oh, okay.
So if you pull that up, let's hear about that because guys, it's not over. Our buddy
Dr. Ding today just posted that they've now seen that it is causing cancer to proliferate because it's cancer is rooted in chronic inflammation. Mm-hmm. See my brain trying to catch up.
I was watching.
Chronic,
it was nice.
Hi.
I saw
I thought it was based on a virus, but inflammation.
And so the COVID virus is actually stopping, cells get damaged and they repair themselves. It's stopping that repair process.
And then those cells turn into cancer.
Yes.
All the mandates.
I would like to say I've kept my mouth shut about it, but I had a biopsy and I just got the results back today and it's benign.
Benign!
So, we've been totally freaked out for a couple of weeks. I have one more hurdle tomorrow, but the top half is benign.
If I sounded like this, everything's good. If I sound like that for a couple weeks, it's because the person I love more than anything was, we had a little scare.
Nice. I know that feeling.
Benign, motherfucker.
To wait.
It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah.
And all the tests and all that. I have one MRI tomorrow, and hopefully that'll be good. And then I have to have surgery. But other than that, it's great. It's benign. What are we looking up? Kamala.
I like that she just kind of threw something else out there that made us all go, huh?
I know. I heard it's the medication. I know. I was like, yeah.
Speaking of cancer, I don't have it.
So
thank God.
listen, I'm great. Everything's fine. I just got one more surgery. Huh? What?
Kamala Harris's communications director tests positive for COVID after close contact with the vice president.
And it's the BA2 version?
It's a new one, right?
know?
It's a new one. The new one. This new one's
Do
bad.
we know that?
The Omicron's gone. I mean, it's pretty much gone. Actually, the new dominant strain is this new one that's coming.
I'm still.
And just so you know, they shut down. They shut down the other half of Shanghai and
her husband is positive.
all the
was.
planes got shut down at Heathrow yesterday. Because people weren't coming to work.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so we're not hearing about it, but it's still, you know why? Just because you're fucking tired of something doesn't mean it goes away. Matt Gaetz is the perfect example. So just know that because you're fucking tired of something doesn't mean it went away. I'm wearing my mask in stores.
That's what I was going to say.
And if people say shit
keep
to
going.
me, I know I did not comedy tour. I didn't. You're right. But now after this, I'm like, I'm wearing my. I still go to stores with it. I didn't do it at comedy.
That was the only time.
He didn't, as much as he preaches about it.
I did in the stores. Everywhere I went in, I did.
I know,
That's
but
good.
not with people and all the shows and stuff. There was
You
a
don't
lot
have to
of
scold me in front of
steam.
it. We're on the podcast. Why do you scold me on the podcast? Would you stop it?
He didn't wear it.
I just
You're kicking me under the table. That side, damn it.
So her communications director was with her, but Doug Emhoff tested positive 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, though. I didn't really even hear about that.
I think the weirdest thing is that it's not over, and they're acting like it's over. And you know what I think? I don't get this, because if you look at the reality of it, listen, I understand if a president's numbers are down, there's usually a reason. And the right has got this great thing about inflation's out of control, but no one's talking about 6% growth. We are now at 3.4% unemployment, 3.5% unemployment, which is lower than it's.
No, that's because left-wing media too. Like they'll say one positive thing, and then they'll be like, but what about the babies, the dead babies?
It's crazy
like,
to watch. So we're watching. It was MSNBC, and they're like, they're saying Biden. By the way, these are great news. This is what they literally said. Unemployment rate. Another 417,000 jobs were added, and that's great. And unemployment's as low as it's ever been. But let's talk about the brutal inflation that's destroying the country. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? It's like what you said, dirty laundry. They just need to get the next thing.
I think we've pitched it before, but why isn't there a positive, like, here's all the great things that have
They
been
tried
happening?
it. There was who's the actor that did great actor. He did that
John Krasinski.
Kaczynski.
Yeah,
he did it.
but that
What
was
was
kind
it?
of like a
Was it a funny
little
thing?
social media. It was like just a feel good thing. I mean, feel good, yes.
But
I'm talking about an official mainstream outlet.
Because it wouldn't sell.
Right.
Because it wouldn't sell.
But
Because
it needs to
as-
be like tax. Like
Because
it's got to have something official.
Listen, heroin doesn't help you, but people use it because it feels good. There's something about anger that clicks off that lizard brain that goes, yeah, fucking
it's
yeah.
the driving by a car accident. How
slowing
the whole
down,
highway
yes.
stops, and
So-
we're like, these assholes go, and then we go by it like,
So that
my
goes
God,
back-
Did
Yeah.
you see that?
oh my god, no, hold on, babe, look,
Yeah,
look,
it's this all the time.
So that goes back to, are we really worse off, or are we just like deep in our addiction? right now.
You know what? There needs to be an evolutionary shift in human beings. I think we still live in a place where we need to survive. Like our brains need to survive.
Yes.
But if you look how we live now, the Ukrainians aside, in places, but in America, we don't have. Let's face it. There's people on the street. Most of us. Even the lowering, we have a house, and or not, maybe we're renting a house, but we're surviving every day. We got a phone, and you're calling to your friends, and you got stuff to play on the game.
And that speaks to the super wealthy, that we want to prop them up, because that's like a weird lizard brain survival thing too. It's like, I just
want to be them, yeah.
You know, security. I need to have all this stuff.
Great. I follow this site called QuoteBot. You should actually look at it. And just every day it puts out cool quotes. And it quoted Fight Club, where he says, "We are a group." Where Brad Pitt's character says, "We are a group of people that have been sold a bill of goods, and we all believe that we're going to be millionaires and rock stars, and we're starting to realize that that's not going to happen, and we're pissed about it." And by the way, that's why this new show. I like this new show. The ending of this new show, because I talk about that. And by the way, guys, we're doing our show. We're filming.
Talk about good things.
May
7th.
Yeah, May 7th. Zero Side Effects. We're filming Zero Side Effects. You'll be able to watch it live. You'll be able to watch the filming live, because we're going to live stream the filming at the thing. So if you can't make it to LA to sit in the audience, you can see it online. Go to ChristopherTitus.com and get those tickets. And so you can sit around for $15. You can sit around with 8 people in your house and watch us tape. And we're going to do some backstage stuff, and we'll mess around.
You're going to get to see some of the stuff leading up to it, what it looks like behind the scenes.
I think we're going to start running the live stream as we're doing setup and stuff. I think we should start, you know. And,
that's a good idea.
Yeah. It's funny. We did this tour. We just did this tour, and we went through, where did we go? The hell were we?
Michigan.
We were Michigan.
We did Traverse City, and then we did
Muskegon, yeah.
And then we did Grand Rapids.
So we did these shows. Grand Rapids was awesome, and I will say this: I played one of the weirdest, worst venues I think I've ever played, but the audience was amazing.
Yeah,
the audience was great.
Yeah, they really were.
Everything is funny. Sometimes you go to a gig and you show up and you go, "Oh no!
Yeah,
this was a mistake."
Yeah,
I tweeted my agent before I walked in. I looked and I tweeted my agent. You ever walked into a club? No, I texted him. I said I've never wanted to quit comedy before a gig before. and then the guys that ran it was great, and his daughter was there, and she was awesome, and the show was great. I'll never go back to that venue again, but the show was great. The people were awesome.
Was awesome.
And the same thing in the first venue. The first venue was crazy. I will say this. And it stopped quickly. I'm glad, again, this goes back to, if you own your bullshit and you really own it enough to where people buy that you own it. And I think that's the one thing we talked about at the beginning, is that I think if you fuck up as bad as some of these people we talked about has fucked up, you have to own it, and you have to own it up until we go, all right, fuck, we get it. And that's what Kevin Hart did. Kevin Hart did that. He went on Ellen. He went on it, and we were like, and he was like, and I'm not talking about it anymore. I said what I said. I shouldn't have said it. I'm good. And he said that a couple of times, and we all went, okay. If we're still, here's the problem. If someone is still mad at you, and if the public is still mad at you, you haven't addressed it enough. You just haven't addressed it enough. That's it. Address it. Fucking deal with it. We'll let you go. We're a forgiving species, but you haven't addressed it enough.
Right.
So fucking address it. Don't just disappear and think the tumor's going to go away.
Yeah.
You address it to
That's a good point. Yeah.
Address it till we're tired of you fucking apologizing, and then we'll be like, fine, got it. Don't fucking do it again.
Yeah.
And for fun, just have some remorse. Like, don't
Remorse
make it. Have some authenticity to your apology.
There you go. Bring some. So the Will Smith thing. So
there's things that Louis C.K. could have done for those 2 women whose careers that he went out of his way. He and his manager went out of their ways to end. He could have done something for them.
He could have done something for them. Get their careers up. He could have released their albums. He could have
paid them off.
Opened for them. He could have done anything.
So the Will Smith thing. So we're in this club. I'll tell you a quick show story. We're at the club doing the show. Do we have another ad? Or are we good?
We're good.
So we're at the club, and I'm doing the show, and I get to the part. I'm getting to this part. If you want to come see the show on May 7th, there I do a COVID conspiracy bit where I drag. You saw it, where I drag the entire. I go down the crazy train that we've been hearing for the last 2-3 years, the fucking nuts government conspiracy train. And I go, all right, I'm going to go with you on your idea, and let's track it. And I track it.
Yeah.
It's a funny bit. So we get done. I get done with that bit in the show, and there was a guy up front that had messed with her a little bit, and I was in the back of the room watching it. It was like
It was dark.
Yeah, dark dude. Just sometimes you get that in the audience. You're on stage and you're looking down, and you realize laughter. What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Yeah,
and then you
he's
go,
like,
it's like, yeah, exactly. And so so this guy was kind of like that. No, but he was more like angry, drunk redneck guy. He was just, and he was doing this. Well, you said something to him. He said something to you, and you.
I make a joke. I'm doing a show about cancer, but I make one offhanded joke comparing doctors to January 6th Republicans. And he just goes like that. It was like, I mean, it was dark. So I just ripped on him. He didn't like that I was ripping on him.
No, he did not.
And then he came up.
So I'm doing my show. Everything's going well. He's laughing. By the way, guys, laughing. He's doing all right. He's going with it. I get to this conspiracy bit. I get to the end of it. It gets an applause break because at the end of it, it ends pretty like, oh, right. We're dumb to even think any of the shit we're thinking. And the guy goes, the applause break ends and he goes, why don't you say something funny? Why don't you talk about your dick? That'll be funny. And I was like, and I turn and I'm like, and again, don't crack that door because I'm evil. On stage with the wrong attitude. Some people are nice. And there was another lady 2 nights later that heckled, and she was just drunk.
Yeah.
And I was just really funny with her because she wasn't being mean. She was hammered. This guy was evil. So so him and I go back and forth. I say some evil shit, like big laughs. He says something, people go, ooh. And I say some evil shit, big laughs. And the dude goes, is this going to be a Will Smith moment?
And stands up.
And I go, and I said, I guarantee you right now, it's not going to be a Will Smith moment. Mm-hmm. I guarantee it. And when
you turned hard. You went from ba-da-da-da-da to hey. And I was like,
I'm sorry, you stand up in the club, you're going to come at me?
Yeah, he stood up and walked to the stage.
I also don't know if anybody's armed. I also don't know if people are armed. I'm like thinking, by the way, this is how dark this
I don't
time.
either, but my dumbass is up and jogging
she's heading
towards the
towards
stage.
Yeah.
Because none of their people were.
Yeah.
The good news is we're going to die together. I think that's the good news.
Oh, 100%.
Are both tackling some dude.
We're not going to make it out. But we have no ability. Well, he does once we get there. But
we will go to the Lord holding hands. You will pull me up.
I embarrassed, I think, the people that were running the show.
They had no security.
The men, because I was the one that ran to handle it.
Why is security not amped up?
And
There's
then
no security.
A guy sort of ran. He ambled up not too long after, and he goes, are we good here? You think it's over?
But before that happened,
I was like,
here's what I'm starting to notice. We're all tired of this. We're fucking all tired of it because when that guy stood up, 2 dudes that were watching the show stood up and got in his face.
2 different. They weren't at the same table.
They weren't at the same table.
Right.
And
at the same time that he stood up, they were up and tracking him. They were between
in
me
front of him.
and him.
And then some dude goes, sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. And the guy looks at these 2 guys, and he hears that guy heckle him, and he puts out his hand to me, and I don't know. I thought Will Smith, and then and so I shook his hand, and I'm like, we're cool, and I did. I switched gears.
So
instantly.
he put his hand out to shake your hand.
Only because he was met with an overwhelming force. He was met with overwhelming force, and he realized that he wasn't winning, and there was
and the crowd wasn't with him.
Besides me and these 2 guys and her coming up behind him, he probably was like, something's wrong.
I think it was fine with me coming up behind him, but
there was
the other dudes that stood.
There was a disturbance in the force. When you go, it's like
I jogged. I was like, no, I'm so tired of people.
Yep.
I'm so tired of people.
Well, because comics were just, and it's what I said a couple weeks ago, we're trying to make you laugh at the nightmare we're all currently living through.
That's another example, without going down this rabbit hole, of what I was talking about. I could never have fathomed that we would not be able to see eye to eye on Will Smith assaulting someone, telling a joke, whatever it's about, not against the law.
Nope.
Yes.
Putting your hands on someone, against the law. Yeah. Can't we all agree that was the thing that can't happen, period, end of conversation? No, we can't. We can't agree on that.
There's an alarming amount of people men saying, you say anything about my wife,
exactly.
I'm coming at you.
Exactly.
Like, okay, dude.
Okay, but that's assault, and I will press charges.
Okay, that's a little bit of a broad statement.
Yeah.
If you're in an alley and, I get that.
But even on the street, if you're just fucking talking shit and someone says something that's too far and you can't come back with words, you're the dumbest motherfucker ever, and you're weak and you're a punk.
Yeah.
You had to hit somebody.
You're
gonna
go up and slap them.
You're
Come
a
on,
punk,
man.
My whole life, my dad always always taught me, always, you let them touch you first. You let them slap you first, and then you take their asses down. Because that's the law.
That's the
I
law.
have to prove that it was self-defense. My dad always told me.
But all that aside, not to go back to this, and I'm just going to say, Will Smith apologized profusely 3 times.
Right.
Okay. Now, we haven't seen him live on TV. He hasn't sat down with Stephen Colbert. He hasn't sat down with Jimmy Fallon.
Which is a great reason for these people not to
I hope
continue
he
to
will.
offend him.
Right. So, and I said that to somebody. Someone's like, fuck it, man. He should have fucking cracked Chris Rock. And I'm like, I'm sorry. The guy who did it has now
Says he
said he
shouldn't
was
have
an
done it.
asshole
Yeah.
and shouldn't have done it, and that he's ashamed of himself and that he can't believe he did it,
Nope.
and he's heartbroken.
We're gonna
and
fight
you
about it.
keep
Nope.
fighting? The dude that did it said he was wrong,
Yep.
and you keep going? The
Yep.
fuck are you, a
No,
moron?
we're going to fight about it now.
I know, it's crazy.
Well, it's the same people when Trump said, take the vaccine, and then they
Boo.
still always said
Yeah.
exactly.
Boo.
Once they've got it in their, either they've already had it in their mind, but
Repeat,
or once
repeat,
Yeah.
regurgitate.
but there's where we lose our country, is because no one has the critical thinking to change their mind.
Yeah.
Like I had something, someone said,
And I just want to say about that really quickly that our issue, so people really jumped on comedians. Tammy Pescatelli was
Right.
one of them, got jumped on, not, we love Tammy. And people are saying, really putting comedians down, and you need to shut your mouth, and you can't say this, and what we are upset about is it makes us less safe than we are already since all dipshit
also
got in
makes us
office.
less funny.
And there's a great example that happened, that Sunday. The next Friday, we're in wherever, Traverse City, and that happens. And the guy specifically says, we're going to have a Will Smith moment, and stands up and goes to the stage. And that's what we're talking about. It's right there.
I also
proof in
said,
action.
I said, I guarantee we're not, because I'm not 165 pounds.
Yeah. See, this might be an example of social media sort of empowering that
that-
behavior,
yeah.
so it
But
has
that's-
real world effects.
But Jeff Ross said that. Jeff Ross was like, I actually, a friend of mine had talked to Jeff Ross, and Jeff Ross said, we're all fucked now. We're all fucked now. If Will Smith can walk up and slap a
Yeah.
comedian, we're all fucked now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Now you might put guardrails up on a joke that the joke might have fucking
and that's
killed.
the whole point of stand-up. Is you're like, I pointed this out to people. People go, comics are going too far. I'm like, I'm sorry. The court jesters, where stand-up really started, that was 1,000 years ago, and their job was to rip the king and the court to keep them level.
Yep.
And sometimes the jester got beheaded. Do you know why? Because the king was a pussy and couldn't take a joke.
I don't love the ending to that story.
No. Yeah, no. I'm not. Yeah, no.
It's not the best.
No.
Okay.
But they did get beheaded, though.
Yeah,
Is that
I
the
don't-
part?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
part.
but the king couldn't take a joke. so if you're a punk and you can't take a joke, or if words offend you, I've been offended by words. I just come back with more words. I come back with better, funnier words. If you can't handle it, don't
that,
show
or
up.
when I don't like something, I
Leave.
turn it off. I leave.
Yeah.
Or I just sit there and think, well, I don't agree with that. I wonder what else they're going to do.
Let's hope to God he gets back to the bit about the dentist.
yeah,
that's my
or
show.
whatever,
My show. By the way, people, if you have a phobia for dental surgery, or you would like to hear a story about this new show's got. I never understood. I thought everybody went through surgery like this. Nobody.
Don't give it away, though.
I won't. But everybody.
April 12th, Albany Funny Bone, one show only, and April 13th, Syracuse Funny Bone, one show only. And those are both close to sold out.
What's the week after?
They
that?
always sell out. April 28th, Dayton Funny Bone, one show only. April 29th and 30th, Liberty Funny Bone, 4 shows, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. So yeah,
And then we filmed the special.
yes, May
We got
7th.
that week. We have work to do. Holy crap! I just got.
Do you know that you have Flappers in Burbank on? Oh, that's June. Okay, sorry, that's June. Excuse me, it's allergy medication.
I get a. I'll be doing another show there.
May 7th, 7 and 9:30.
Yep.
0 side effects. Live stream tickets available by going to his website and clicking on
And
tour.
if you're local and you want to see the show here, you can also get tickets at the website.
Yep, you can buy tickets for the El Portal Theater in North Hollywood. It's where I shot mine.
It's a fun theater, man.
And you can go get those.
And
tickets
we're doing
as
some
well.
really cool.
You've got both links, right?
We're doing
Live
cool.
stream
Yeah, they're
on
both-
his
yeah.
own.
This is
Right
not
on the
going to be.
homepage.
It's not going to be. There's a 16-foot high, 24-foot wide video screen that we're using. This is going to be a really interactive.
Yeah.
It's going to be wicked cool. Speaking of that, we have to go have a meeting about that because we have a lot to do. I just got scared. Guys, thanks for watching and listening. I do feel better. I will back down the news a little bit.
Okay.
And so I just won't pay attention to it. And then when I hear this, when the nuke drops and I hear I'll
need to
be
do
like,
with you.
What the hell was that?
What my mom did with us when we were growing up, we were only allowed 30 minutes
that
of
I'm a
TV a
child.
day.
Yeah.
And
I'm a child. Both of you got, yeah, what do you mean, yeah? Both of you shut
and
up.
then I loved Scooby-Doo, and so did my brother, but he would have nightmares, and so then
About
we weren't
Scooby-Doo?
allowed to watch Scooby-Doo anymore. So if it gives you nightmares, you're not allowed to watch it
That
anymore.
explains a lot about your brother. If he had
just saying.
nightmares, that's Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the end of the show. And you know what that means?
Oh, it's so
After
fun.
talking about the darkness, after talking about the pain, after talking about the nightmare, it's time for some fun facts with the Highlander.
Don't talk it
Talking
sounds
about human beings.
Don't do it.
sounds like you were building up. What's that song? It's all about the boogie. What's that song? Don't talk about the...
Don't talk about the good times. Don't talk about the sunshine. Don't talk about the good times. Don't blame it on the...
That's okay,
Yeah, that's it.
sure.
Blame it on the boogie.
Speaking
Michael
of,
Jackson. Now I want to hear that
Michael
song.
Jackson.
You just actually... I now want to listen to that song.
You're welcome.
A human could swim through a blue whale's veins. The blue
Wow.
whale
Wait.
is the largest living creature.
It's like a water slide inside the
Yes.
whale.
You could just swim right through.
You
like
really
a tube.
couldn't. You would die. You would suffocate unless you had a snorkel. But
Yeah,
even
don't
then,
try it.
Yeah, don't.
The blue whale is the largest living creature. It's even larger than most dinosaurs. The biggest blue whales can be over 100 feet in length and weigh more than 100 tons. Their hearts alone can weigh 1,300 pounds and are the size of a small car. Unsurprisingly, blue whales have enormous arteries, which pump blood through their massive hearts into their vital organs. These arteries
say
are
how-
so big that a fully grown human could swim through them. Not that you should try it.
How big are the blue whales?
Like, what's the length on that sucker? What would be a length on a blue whale?
Like a couple buses.
Every couple of times you'll see like a drone shot into it from the water, and you'll be like,
Yeah,
and
there's
there'll
a
be
fucking
boat, there'll be
city bus.
There'll be a boat, and you're like, it's bigger than that. It's like,
Skyscraper, I
it's,
mean.
yeah, it's crazy.
Wow, 290,000 to 330,000 pounds.
How long? What's a?
79 feet.
Oh, that's a yacht.
Yeah.
It's a big yacht. Wow.
That's an animal.
Sorry, the biggest blue whale that we found so far is 111 feet long, approximately the length of 3 school buses.
There you go. A couple school buses. That's crazy.
Wow. You know how much whale poop is in the ocean?
Do you know what's so funny? Look, that, you know, like you type in something and all the dumb questions people ask come up. How big? So, what's the biggest blue whale? The next question: how big is blue whale poop? Which is
I'm so base. I'm such a loser.
200 liters.
And a couple humans that come out.
200.
Poo is described as smelling like a dog's, but the consistency of breadcrumbs. They can excrete up to 200 liters of poop in one bowel movement.
Wow.
200 liters. That's a smart water, the big smart water.
200 of them.
times 200. Wow.
You think we have big problems?
This guy
Not
just
only
does
that,
tiny poop.
But what do they use to wipe? Good night, everybody.
They're in the water.
Yeah, salt water.
They
Other
have
fish.
a built-in bidet.
I think we're going to end on whale poop
Okay.
today. Guys, thanks for listening to the podcast. Thank you for watching it on YouTube. Please subscribe to the podcast. We are going to be doing that show on the 7th. We want you to go to the show. Please go to the shows on the road. This show finally has gotten... you've seen it now. What do you think of this new show?
I think it's excellent.
It's gotten to a place where it's just
Yep,
banging.
it's banging.
So guys, go get tickets. ChristopherTitus.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. For myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray, and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
There could be only one.
Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on our...